That one's on. The other machine on now. Back up. Okay. That one's on. Yep, that's on. Okay, let's go. All right, welcome. So let me just get the presentation up. Some guys will watch this cold on YouTube. We'll get into this. So, right. And if you want to rearrange the webcams on the right, just click on the 3x3 matrix and you can reshape it to whatever you want in terms of seeing other people. Okay, so welcome to the webinar, Opening to Your Flow of Abundance. I'm Nicolas, David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. So we'll just sort of do a little intro here. Especially for people who haven't seen this before. I'm seeing it for the first time on the video. Are you here to do something very special for the world, but can't rely on the universe to give you what you need? That's been me most of my life. So this webinar is about gracefully accelerating the healing of the fear of stepping into the life you really desire. How many of you want to step into the life you really desire? Put your hand up. Yeah, that's probably why you're here. Okay. So you can quicken the process of safely letting go, opening to the flow of abundance, and delivering your gift of service. Because my mission is to help you guys get on with your mission. That's why I'm here. So, because you come all this way, came to this third rock from the sun. Most of you are probably wondering, why did I get off at this planet? I must have missed the stop. I went to sleep, went past the one I was meant to go to. And you ended up here. You woke up and realized, something not quite right here. And there's something special I'm here to do, but no one can give me the answer. And getting this flow thing to work is challenging as well. It seems such a complex job, which it is, but there are ways of getting through it. So what I'd like to hear from you guys is where you are and what brought you here, because we're going to set the group energy, then that'll sort of guide me in the way we flow today. So anyone can speak. Just if you're on video, just wave at me, or just switch your microphone on and say you're here, or put it in the chat if you're feeling a little shy, which is fine as well, and I'll read it out. Okay, who would like to go first? Some regulars here anyway. Okay, Magella.
Yeah, I can. Nicolas, I'm not, I suppose I don't know why I'm here other than I have read your book twice. Okay. And then when I was on the website, there was an invitation for 2 webinars, this one and the one last week. And I thought it sounded interesting. And yeah, I'm just trying to do what I should be doing in life and doing it happily. So okay. Anything I could get to help with that and to help everybody else and the animals would be great.
Okay, thank you, Majella.
Chef Hop-Ups, he might say hello.
And where are you? Just so tell
I am in the west of Ireland.
Okay. Okay, good. Is it warm out there like it is over here?
No, it's 15 degrees. There's no sunshine, but there's no rain today either.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably twice that temperature here. So.
Yeah. Wish I was there.
Yeah. Okay. All 4 seasons in one day, if I remember rightly.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Thank you.
Thank you. Most of you guys aren't very shy, so let's go for it. Okay, we'll have Charlene, we'll have Isabel, then we'll have William.
All right. Hi, I'm from 1 hour out from Sydney in New South Wales, Australia. It's like 1:30 in the morning here.
You're very brave. And
I want to see you so badly. I really want to be here. You inspire me so bad. I found your book and I was just hooked immediately. I love the decoding your soul contract and everything about it. And it's just calling me so badly. I know that I'm meant to be part of this. And it's part of my journey. And I totally resonate with a light being and a light worker. And it's my purpose. And I just can't wait to carry on with it.
Okay. Good to see you. Seem highly committed light workers. Thank you, Charlene. Okay, Isabel.
Hi, Nicolas. Hi, everybody. It's my first day actually in here. I only discovered you through a friend, and I'm very glad to be here. I've done other from other teachers the soul contract, so I know a little bit about the numbers and everything. But I'm here mainly the money side aspect. I never seem to grasp it. I mean, no matter how hard I work and then have the wages, but either they disappear or I don't feel I have money at all. Never. This one aspect, and also as a light worker, we have this big mission that it's all a dream, but nothing materializing. And just being here, it feels not real. It feels that I'm actually talking to a computer and I might not have any reply or anything. So it feels weird. And I've got a big knot in my stomach. So maybe it's this visibility, showing up, being heard, all of this together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And where are you, Isabel?
In London.
Okay.
We
Down
just
the road
had.
then from me. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
I thought you were going to say somewhere in Eastern Europe or somewhere. So.
No, well, I'm from Spain originally, so I've got
Okay.
this weird accent. Thanks.
Okay. All right. William, the
Thank
lovely
you.
sacred geometry.
Hello, I'm William from Texas, the US. It's quite hot right now. And I know there's a lot going on in the world that needs healing. So it begins with me. I'm here to heal myself first.
Okay, thank you. Who's next?
I can go, Nicolas.
Okay, Helen.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm here for multiple reasons. One, it's to take me on the next step to my journey, very much in the healing and the light world, of understanding why I was destined to give so much support, love, light to a lot of people, but have that balance between a phenomenal career that I can not hide this beautiful side that I have to me in senior leadership. So really understanding where that path's going to take me. It's very exciting and full of gratitude to Nicolas for inviting me and you all for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Helen. And where are you, Helen? Just so you guys know.
North London.
Okay, not too far away either.
Not too far.
All right. Anyone else? Who's next? Angela, you're reaching for the mouse.
I will reach for the mouse, yeah. I don't know why I'm here either, if I'm honest. I've had quite, I think it was possibly a couple of years ago, I've had some sessions with yourself, and the work that we did was really, I feel, really transformative at the time. And so I suppose I'm feeling a little bit stuck. My job is degrees physio, but body worker, healer, take movement classes as well, and kind of that inner stillness is really important to me and those that are open to it, to exploring that, as but not everybody is. I suppose I feel a little bit like I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, to be honest. I feel like I'm just kind of plodding along and a little bit lost in what it is I am doing, what I am sharing. So a bit more clarity for that.
Get some clarity. Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to share? Eleanor?
Hello. Hello. Yeah. I just need to find the right words. I'm here mainly because of inspiration, but also to learn. And I seem to be in a little bit of a jam right now. I have to move in less than 5 weeks. And the house I've seen, I don't know if I'll get it. So this thing of seeing things, but being able to manifest them as to actually get there is something that sort of is on my mind right now, because this thing of having a place to stay is somewhat important.
Very important, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes all of my focus. So mainly I'm just here to learn. Often I find inspiration by listening to others. So yeah. And I'm in Denmark and it's very hot here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 40 degrees here on
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, where I am.
Crazy.
Centigrade.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of a relatively cool 25, 30 today. So
Yeah.
I realized my brain stopped thinking actually in some of those days. I was sort of sitting still. I realized I wasn't doing anything because it was so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Margola, do you want to put a word in for Canada? Hang on. Try that. That's
Hi,
it. You got it. You got it.
can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Perfect. Okay, good. So I'm here to heal me, and I'm getting ready and looking forward to your divine healing because I want to take that. And I want to make sure going forward, because I've had a little trouble with this, trusting me and trusting some of the decisions I've been making, because I've been making a lot of mistakes. I'm still looking for the right place to live. And I want to stop doing that.
Okay. So when you say looking for the right place to live, you mean in the same city or just in a much vast area, like all of Canada?
In general,
the
I
world?
have moved 5 times in 2 years, 3 years, 5 times. Since my dad passed away, I've been having trouble settling in general.
Right. Yeah.
But COVID is not your friend. Believe me, if you don't want to move during COVID, because then you can't make any new friends wherever you go. It's like the doors are closed. In our city, we were locked down completely for like 16 months. So you really weren't supposed to talk to anybody. So if you'd moved to a new area, you wouldn't be talking to anybody except the person who sold you your food for the lunch or supper. That's who you'd be meeting. And basically we're meeting people. So I want to know that I can trust myself and my decisions.
Okay.
And make the right ones,
Right.
in addition to helping people.
Okay.
Because then I
Well,
can guide people easier.
I have a very good Canadian astrocartographer who works out the best places to live. I will post his link in the YouTube description of this video. He's in Vancouver, and he'll be able to work out the best places to live for you. So then you get down to a few percent of places which are worth looking at.
Okay. You also gave me the name of someone you're working with, and I don't remember where I put it. So if you could send her name again.
For
what
was she? What therapy?
I think it was divine healing, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Did I email it to you? Did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
But at the moment, I can't find it. I'm looking for it, but I can't find it.
I'll have a look.
Yeah.
I'll have that email somewhere.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So any of the other guys who are not on video, if you want to, you can just type away in the chat at the bottom there if you want to share why you're here. Don't have to, but it's there for you if you want. And I'll just read it out. Otherwise, or you can switch the sound on the bottom left. Otherwise, I'll just start. Or very quiet. Okay. I'll start. Okay. All right. So let's get to talk about what divine healing is. Well, basically, we're going to talk about briefly what divine healing is, because some of you may not be so familiar with it, and then we're actually going to experience. Most of the time, we'll be spent experiencing it. Okay. So divine healing. basically, divine healing is a system that Almira, who co-founded the Center for Conscious Ascension with me, and she developed this because we needed a tool to clear some very heavy-duty karmic patterns in our soul contract. And we knew if we didn't have a very powerful tool, we weren't going to get very far on this mission. We're going to get pretty frustrated. So, who's this there? Is that Heather? HM. I think it's Heather there, said, I want to be a master manifestor like you. Okay. Thanks. We'll see what we can do. So basically, the way this developed was back in 2006 is that source, or many different bodies of many different groups of beings from many different dimensional levels, channeled through our mirror and two others, friends of ours, divine healing. Because we wanted a tool so we could go back to source in consciousness, so we could dissolve our ego, the thing which has been challenging all of us for our whole lives, which keeps us separate in consciousness from God. And so that's why we call it a multidimensional healing system. And basically, it's a very profound way of bringing consciousness. You bring feeling consciousness to whatever program is in your face at the moment, because that's the one you need to work on. And it helps you dismantle this very rapidly. And as you dissolve the many layers of these ego programs, it connects you back to higher self. So these young children in the neighbor's backyard, I've got all the windows closed, but if you hear them, it's just them making a lot of noise. So through the windows. And so the idea is to reconnect to spirit, because when you reconnect to spirit, you get into alignment. And some of you share you're not sure what you're here to do. And as you come into alignment with your spirit, part of you not embodied, that begins to guide you and along in what we call following the spiritual signature. What is the next right action in that moment? It's in alignment with the soul. It's the action which opens your heart, rather than us going into our left brains trying to figure it all out. We've been brought up in a very Western scientific matrix, most of us, and we try to analyze it and work it out, and usually doesn't work so well. Get it right about half the time. And so divine healing is all about learning to follow that signature, follow the natural flow of spirit. And as you do that, it knows how to dismantle our ego onion. Is our ego onion down here? It knows how to dismantle this onion so that we can get back. I'm going to change the color here. We can pull these layers off, all the stuff which is holding us back, and get back to the pure flame of consciousness of who we truly are, which is love. And as that comes through our consciousness, that's going to guide us. It's going to guide us forward in life. Because what's happened is that we've done this. We are down here. You are here, okay? I can get the right color. You are here. And our ego disconnected us from all that is, everything else up here, all the stuff up here, when we were born initially. Whoops, wrong button. And the idea with divine healing is very simple. It's to open a pathway back to source by cutting through. This is an interference zone in the astral plane. This is the third dimension where we are, the seemingly solid reality. Is to open a pathway up to the higher dimensions to get home in consciousness to source, to ascend. That's what ascension's about. And to basically clear all the programming in us and anything along the way to getting back to source. That's the essence of what we're here to do. Because as we break through these programs, and these programs are here so that we can have this dense, intense, and human experience. And it's our training for our mission. All the karma we work through and our ego is to train us in the skills we need to deliver our mission. So I used to think I'm wasting my time doing this because this is just so challenging. But I've used everything I've learned on the journey of clearing my ego. Still a lot of work to go, still work in progress. And it turned into the tools, the gift of service I've needed to carry out this mission. I spent years struggling with my ego, trying to burn out these programs, but once divine healing came along, it really accelerated it. So the idea is to cut a pathway back to source. And for those of you not sure what you're here to do, or you've got some idea but not fully clear, the clearer your connection back to the higher dimensions, the better, because that allows the higher self here to then start infusing knowledge, ideas, energies through a more high frequency human vessel here, and to start to manifest your mission. So your job actually is not to make it happen, as 3D business says, make it happen. You know, it's very North American, make it happen. It's about opening up your consciousness and clearing the ego within you, and actually stepping out of the way and allowing your higher self to come through you, a clean, high frequency vessel. And that's actually how it's going to happen. Because you are not actually in charge. Little you and this human avatar aren't actually in charge. It's actually the higher self. But you're the vessel which it needs to embody through and express to actually deliver your gift of service. So it's actually more about getting out of the way in this surrender and following the flow of the higher self, the flow of the spiritual signature. And that's actually how the mission will really happen. And so the key is to actually clear the interference first, all the programs in the way. Okay. And then follow the flow. There's a diagram for flow down here. Here's my flow diagram. That's one which I haven't got on here. Here it is. So this is your little ego here, our little ego here, that thinks it knows what's going on, thinks it's in charge. And the job of divine healing is to expand its consciousness, to dissolve it gradually so our consciousness expands. So we move from the path of suffering, which is following what the ego wants to do, what the mind wants to do, the dotted line here. And we move over to following this thick dotted line, which is the spiritual signature. This guy here. And as we get emotionally clearer and our ego clears, we start to converge on this. And as we converge on this, life starts to flow, life starts to open, we start to trust more, we start to feel more loved, start to feel more worthy. Things turn up, amazing things turn up. And once we clear enough of our ego, so I will put to you, if you're feeling stuck, the highest priority is to burn through the ego with love, because then you can start to move from here to here, start to converge, takes practice on the spiritual signature. That's when your mission will accelerate and really start to manifest more. That's the absolute key to it. Because we can, if we're stuck down here and we've not cleared our stuff, no amount of focus or affirmations or thinking will get you to over here. Because it's about feeling our way through, feeling the programs, dissolving them, because all our soul wants to do is feel the blockages to oneness, to connection to source, the one, and to following the signature, clear them, and then get on with the mission. So divine healing is the idea of divine healing is to basically get you from here to here, so you're in the flow in life. Okay, so all right. Yeah, so someone's asked how to burn through the ego, which is what divine healing is for. We're gonna do a little bit of that in a minute. Okay, that's Magella. Yeah, that's what we're actually going to do. I'm just sort of giving you some structure, giving your minds a bit of structure, so you understand what we're on about here. Okay, any questions on that so far? That's the concept. This is the journey of life on Earth. If you actually want to make a difference, want to have a happier, fulfilled life, a bit more money, which is always useful with light workers. Most of us don't have a lot, because with money you can actually get a lot more done. So Isabel, money, as far as the ego is concerned, money is love. So the more love we allow into our lives, the more we feel worthy of receiving love, which is very challenging for most of us, the more money that will turn up. Okay. You saying something to me? You want to unmute? You want to talk about that? No. That's the key. Money is love. But we should be focusing on love first, not on money. money in itself has quite a low frequency. It's a main means of control on earth. But the more we feel love, the more money will turn up in the outer world, and then our life will get a little easier in terms of carrying out our mission. So, oops, let me get back up to here. So what happens here? What we're doing is that we are taking all our emotional separation programs, all the lovely stuff which you'd rather not feel, rather not deal with, all the stuff our ego avoids, the mud of life, and we're diving into the mud, we're bringing consciousness to it. Okay, and we are then the more feeling consciousness we bring to it, okay, and regarding everything as oneness, not this is mud bad, lotus good. It's all one, it's just in a different state. As we bring consciousness to the mud, lotuses will grow. Beautiful things grow out of the separation, emotional separation. Okay. And your job's to go from the mud to the lotus by gradually working through whatever's bugging you. Whatever's annoying you the most emotionally is the thing that's your mud at the moment. You got to transmute to grow your lotuses. So without diving into the mud, you won't get to the lotuses. So a lot of people spiritually want to get to the lotuses and not deal with the mud. It's called spiritual bypass. But because they haven't done the work of diving into the mud and feeling all the karmic stuff, they never get the lotuses and they get stuck. Okay, and the ego is very allergic to the mud because it means it's going to have to feel a bit of emotional pain ever so briefly. Okay, but the journey is to go from the mud to the lotus on many issues in life. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, the mud is made up of 3 core programs. When you pop out of your mum, when you're born, you feel there are 3 programs which get triggered. First one is God's abandoned me because it was lovely in the womb. I was connected to God. It was blissful. Now I'm out in this cold, harsh, noisy, bright world. God abandoned me. I must be bad. I feel unworthy to be loved by God because that's the only reason why God would have popped me into this reality. And also now I don't trust God because God betrayed me. I came into this world. So our egos are made up of a unique combination of these 3 programs. Okay. Now the ones we need to work on. And so the way we do it. Okay, someone want to say something? Is that? No? Okay. So Claudia, if you want to join us on the video, it's purely optional. You can just use a chat. You just say yes to become a panelist, and you can switch your video on. But you can we'll just chat away to me at the bottom of the screen. So when we're faced with these programs, what the ego does is there's 3 things that happen. 1 or 3 things will happen. Most humans go into avoidance. They don't want to feel anything. They numb out. They stay stuck. Life gets tough. Notice people who've done no emotional work when they're in their middle age, they look in pretty bad shape because the programs have basically worn them out. Okay. But those who are a bit more awake, initially we as light workers tend to judge their programs and feel bad about them. But divine healing is the 3rd way. It's about diving into the mud and resonating with the programming and owning it, because that's the beginning of healing. Bringing feeling consciousness to it, tracking its origin, because the more consciousness you can bring to a program, the deeper the clearing. And then we use what are called command codes in divine healing, because we've aligned to the higher self. I've already done this before we started. And it will, provided you felt enough of that program, it will then dissolve it upon your command. Okay? So what's this feeling consciousness thing that he's talking about? Well, this is what it's about. So in order to heal, you need a few things in place. You need the willingness, desire, and courage to heal. Because if you don't have that, then nothing's going to happen. All right. Okay, so Charlie, I'm not just going to mute you, okay? Because is that okay? Yeah. So what happens here is that we bring feeling consciousness to the program. And because what you feel, you can heal. And the ego is not happy about this because that means you're going to dissolve it layer by layer. And so you become a threat to it, basically. So it wants you to not feel it. So it will try and numb you out by doing this. It'll put a layer. It'll put a layer of emotional numbness around the program. You can't feel it. Because what you can't feel, you can't heal. So what we do is this. Divine healing allows you to gently and gracefully break through this defense mechanism, bring your consciousness into this, then expand that consciousness. And the more you can expand it into the different layers of feeling of a program, the more you will dissolve it. And then we ask the higher self to basically clear that. You go as far as you can. The higher self says, okay, Isabel's got the feel of that. You might command the higher self to basically clear that, and then that layer of program will be gone. A little less suffering on that issue in life occurs. Okay, so that's the essence of divine healing, really. It's feel it as much as you can, and then ask the higher self to actually clear the thing. And we do that in many different ways. That's the essence of it. Okay. All right. Any questions on that so far before we continue? No one got any questions? Or we're just going to try some out? No? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is try it. So what I want you guys to do is take your shoes off. Okay. Take your shoes off, and we're going to have a direct experience of divine healing. Put your feet on the ground, just ground. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quietly clear the energy interference that prevents us from connecting to higher self. Because when you can't connect properly to higher self, then we can't get proper guidance with what our programs are. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the diagram here to show you. We're going to punch a hole with love through this interference zone at the lower end of the astral plane. So we can connect to the guidance of the higher self. It's the first thing we're going to do. Just going to have a drink while we do that. All right. I want you to close your eyes and just feel this. Okay. The first thing we're going to clear are what I call earthbound souls. These are beings who have left a physical body, but they've connected to you because they have a resonance with the issues you're working with. Because when they were embodied, they were working out the same issues. So, and they may be triggering a lot of these issues in you more strongly. Okay, so I'll do this quietly, but what I want you to do is just to breathe through your mouth, not your nose, because breathing through the mouth allows you to go deep into your body to feel what's there. So have your mouth slightly open. The ego will want to keep your mouth closed and have you breathe through the nose, which is what we don't want, because that means you just stay in your head and think about it, which is not going to get us very far. And closing the eyes is very important because 80% of the mental body's energy comes out your eyes. So when you close your eyes, and you can get to a feeling state. And just be conscious of what happens in your body as we clear this first layer of interference. I'll be doing this quietly. Just breathe in and be present with yourself. You feel the shift. The energy shift as the earthbound souls leave. You may literally feel them popping out your body. Eyes closed is very important. Otherwise, what's happening is your mind's going to try and stay in control of this. Okay, it wants to understand. It's not about understanding it. This is about experiencing and feeling the power of this. Okay, so we thank the angels who helped us with this. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to release extraterrestrial presences. It's nothing to worry about. These beings are vibrating at a high level, so you can't see them, but they're just very curious about how these human emotions of ours work. Because on this planet, the range of emotions is vastly greater than most planets where there's sentient life. And a lot of them have gone very into their mental bodies, very technological, but they realize to ascend back to God, they need to understand how emotions work. They need to understand about love, which we have a lot more experience with down here. So we're going to clear these guys out now. You feel the energetic shift as these beings leave. You might want to yawn, that's fine, I want to yawn. Now we're going to clear discarnates, entities, and attachments, basically anything else remaining, which is affecting us from the lower astral plane, okay, which are blocking us, keeping us locked in to where we are in life. Those beings are leaving now. Feel the shift. And feel gratitude in your heart. That opens up a connection to source, opens up abundance. Even for the smallest thing, gratitude is very important. Okay. All right. I'm going to move to the next step. What I want you to do, if you're clear what this special thing is you're here to do on Earth, focus on that as if it's already manifest. All right? Focus on your needs being met to actually get to that special thing. If you're not sure what that special thing is, then focus on knowing what that special thing is and what needs you have that need to be met to create that as well. So you can step into a life you really desire. So don't hold back on this. Don't worry about how is this going to happen. Just focus on the final state of being that you've carried out a successful mission of service here on Earth as a light worker. All right? And let the universe work the rest out. Because remember, you are a spark of the divine. You're actually a spark of God. You just forgot. And so what we're going to do here is that we're focusing on that special thing, or the clarity on that special thing, and the needs that you need met to get there, whatever they are, you're going to start manifesting it. But the important thing we're trying to do here is that when you start to focus on what the soul really wanted to do, what really wants to do here, the ego is going to trigger all its programs to stop you, all things which have been holding you back. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically ambush them. We're going to bring them up in consciousness by you focusing on where you want to go, all right, or clarity on where you want to go. Because a lot of light workers, me included, spend most of their life focusing on all the things which are wrong because we just got too smart, we've understood too much about how we're built emotionally. And we're focusing on digging all this stuff out. But due to the law of attraction, what happens is you actually get a lot more, probably 2 or 3 times more than you'd like, simply because you're focusing on everything that's not, that as far as your ego is concerned, is wrong with it. Okay, so we're not going to ignore the stuff which is in the way, but we're not going to give it any more life force than necessary. So we're going to focus on where we want to go. Anything in the way will show itself because ego will try and stop you. And once it shows itself, it comes into feeling consciousness, then we're going to clear it. So effectively, we're tricking the ego into showing its real hand of how it's built, how it's trying to stop you. And I want you to feel whatever comes up. Some of it may be uncomfortable, but start bringing consciousness to what's uncomfortable, because this is actually how you make progress. This is how you actually get what you desire in life in the end. All right. So focus on breathing through your mouth, visualizing yourself in the final state. It's all done. You've got to where you want to get to. Well, it's never done, but the next stage, whatever the next stage is for you. You're carrying your mission out. You've got that CEO job. You've got whatever it is you want. Okay, as if it's already done. Okay, if you need to be financially abundant, focus on that. But it's better sort of to focus on how you are serving in the world. And when you're in that place of service, the money will turn up. And then just be aware of what the ego brings up, because it will have no choice but to bring up anything which is blocking this flow of abundance for you. Breathe into that final state of being. How do you feel? Grateful? Joyous? In a place of disbelief? Whatever it is. As you start to focus on feeling where you want to get to, I'd like you to become aware at a feeling level of whatever program or programs are coming up as a result of focusing on it being a done deal. And be okay with whatever comes up. There may be some strong negative emotions. Just feel them. Just be conscious of them. There's nothing you have to do with them. They're perfect exactly as they are. And if you know what was the source of them, well, it might have been something in childhood, you may be aware of a past life, or whatever. Just be aware of where that things come from, that programs come from, if it's easily apparent. Let yourself open to all aspects of the feeling. Something which you may not have done before in this particular set of programs. Become aware of any attachment you have to holding on to this program. This is the ego holding on to the program, actually. Well, it hasn't gone away. That's a little tricky, that attachment. And become aware of any feelings of being bad for even having this program. You just sit with it, you realize, oh, my ego's not feeling bad. It's feeling bad about this one. And any judgment you have around it. Like, God, I've been on this path for 15 years and I've still got the damn thing. Should have got rid of it by now. Okay. How much time, energy, and money have I spent on help, on workshops and healing, and it's still there? Just be aware of that judgment of the ego, of itself. The more you get open to it, the more that program it can integrate and heal. I'd like you to dive as deep as you can into the feeling of this program, because then we're going to ask the higher self, we're going to use a command code. You as a spark of the divine, as a spark of God, commanding it to go. Because you're in charge here. Okay, so I want you to keep your eyes closed and repeat after me. I'm going to give you this command code in bite-sized chunks. Okay, everyone switch their mics on, because then you can hear each other. Okay. It's very powerful as a group doing this. Even the guys who are attendees, you can switch your mics on. It'd be great to hear you as well. Okay. A lot of power in working in a group, much more so than in person. One-on-one. Okay. So close your eyes again. I'm going to read it to you in bite-sized chunks. This is from the Divine Healing Manual. Repeat after me. We are Saint Germain.
We are
Saint Germain.
To pour the purple flame.
All the purple flame.
Purple flame.
Through the aura and subtle bodies.
Through the aura and subtle bodies.
To burn away all low frequency energies.
Burn away
all low frequency energies
that we have discovered. So that new higher level vibrations.
So that new higher level vibrations
can be accessed. So Saint Germain's going to, one of the ascended masters are going to go off and sort that out. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go for the clearing. Saint Germain and higher self.
Saint Germain and higher self.
Please burn out in one go.
Please burn out in one go.
100% the core issue.
100% the core issues.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and dimensions.
We're going to pause there and let that clear. 100% the original cause.
100%
the original cause.
No cause.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Pause there, let that happen. 100% the source of its power.
100% the source of its power.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Just let that integrate.
And integrate.
100%. I know that's just me commenting. So 100% all energy attached.
100% all energy attached.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and dimensions.
100% all of its effects.
100% all of its effects.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and dimensions.
To let that clear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, gratitude. Feel the gratitude in your heart. Allow it to come forth. Because that bypasses the entire ego and gets you to source, and that's how you can really bring abundance. And even be grateful for one little thing. I had someone book about half an hour or an hour or two ago for the workshop starting tomorrow, Divine Healing 2. And I felt very grateful because it made up an even number of students. So therefore, it means the pair work is a lot easier with an even number of students. So I was really grateful for that. Okay, so that's feeling the shift there. Let's have a little feedback while you integrate that before we do the next chart. How are people feeling after that? Anyone want to share how that was? Or you're quietly stuck?
I can go, Nicolas.
Okay, Alan.
I think what resonated with me prior to going into that was your comments about ego And for me, it was, I can identify now when I'm in a place of ego, and that's the moment I can stop it and go, okay, I'm questioning that place, and then going obviously into the divine healing, knowing that it felt much clearer of what it was that I was asking for.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a big shift in my journey, I think.
Yeah. After a while, you start to realize how the ego is rearing its head. So it's not about shutting it down, it's thinking, now I can feel and see.
Yeah.
Now I know what the program is, which means you're conscious, which means you're going to catch it earlier, which means it's not going to go and create a big mess like it did last time.
Yeah, and that's, I think, part of where I've got to from our last session was that, wow, I'm super conscious of language and feeling around me, but this, I think, is it's been, wow, yes, Helen, you are actively doing that. So thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share their experience of that? I'm just doing this to see how you're doing, but also to allow some integration before we're going to do another strong chart. Charlene, you're going to say something?
Yeah. Oh, this happens to me a lot when I do inner work. I will go into tuning and my toddler is in the other end of the house. And as soon as we started the divine healing and my feet were on the floor, she woke up screaming for me.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's ego working through ways of stopping me getting to hide. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right. Anyone else? If you could all mute if you're not talking, because we get a bit of feedback. So just switch on when we're talking. You're talking. Anyone else want to share how that was?
This is Joanna. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I opened my eyes right at 11:12, which is the healing would have stopped right at 11:11. So that was really cool. But yeah, I just love the synchronicities of all of this. I've been really going through like 2 really major pattern healings lately, and I actually just felt called to open the Decoding Your Soul Contract book the other day. I've had it for a long time, haven't looked at it for a while, but I just felt called to, and when I looked at the kind of the karmic pattern and the way to enlightenment, that chart just really helped me heal. But then it came up again, like a week later, the same pattern. So it's been a lot that I've been going through right now. It's just this one pattern I've been trying to break for my whole life. And then I had signed up for this webinar like a while ago without remembering that it was today. And so it was just the whole synchronicity of, I've been looking at that book yesterday again and trying to heal this and just really trying to get into the feeling and going through the motions of it. And it just seems like very like divine kind of all coming together to have this clearing of calling in spirit to really now transmute that programming for me. So yeah, that was really, really special.
I'm glad it helped. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Programs will repeatedly come up. It doesn't mean you missed it the first time, just it means it's a deeper layer of the onion.
Yeah, and that book helped so much, just helping remind me of that, because when I was reading the part where it says, you know, the ego is going to try to tell you you'll never heal this, and that's kind of like, that's good news. That means that you're kind of getting through the last 2 layers of it, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, it'll play all sorts of games with you. It'll tell you everything but the truth. So
right.
Yeah, to try and keep you unconscious, because it's part of its job is to keep you away from God. And your job is to get back in consciousness to source, back to God through this journey.
Yeah.
One layer at a time. So, because it's the visceral experience, emotional experience of going from the complete state of separateness from God, one step at a time through our lives to get back to God, which is the purpose of life. Because you're each a spark of the creator. You are the creator creating. It's not some big white guy with a bed in space on a throne. You are God incarnate. We are creation creating through our lives. Okay, this is actually the reason there's sentient life on billions of planets in this galaxy and all the galaxies in the universe. It's actually God creating. So each of your lives is part of the creator creating through direct feeling experience. Because I spent a lot of time thinking about about itself. Then it realized, I have to do much more. I have to feel my way through all the experiences I can have in this universe, which is what it's doing. Okay. So that's the reason there are planets and suns. It wasn't that they form and we sort of appeared out of the primordial ooze by accident. It's the other way around. Vehicles were needed. An environment was needed for the sparks of the divine to incarnate in physical form to experience separation and then eventually oneness with God. That's actually the whole point of the universe. It's a great thought of the one great soul here learning about itself. And you're part of that. That's what we're actually doing. And divine healing is just accelerating the creator's learning, really. That's what we're actually doing. Okay. Any other feedback? Comments, anyone? Before we do the next bit. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to clear any past life barriers to you opening to the flow of abundance, to manifesting your gift of service or your mission. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes. And focus on the final state of beingness, where you're in that state where you've manifested your mission, the whole point of your gift of service, why you come here on earth. If you're not clear what that is, just keep it more general, or the knowledge of knowing eventually what it is, because it's not revealed to you all the time, straight away. Okay? And as if it's already done, see how you feel. And allow whatever programs want to come up, because we're going to clean some out. Because the ego won't be able to help itself when we do this. And breathe into it. Breathe into the feeling. You don't have to understand what's coming up. The main thing is to feel it. It took me ages to learn to do this. I used to think a lot about things. And become aware with your intention. Ask your soul, your higher self, to show you any past lies, programming, which is feeding into the way this life has turned out, that are blocking the manifestation of this manifestation of gift of service, blocking you opening to God's abundance. You might be 2 or 3, 4 of them. You have a sense, oh, there's a presence in the energy. If you look behind you energetically, clairvoyantly, in the time-space continuum, you may see strands. I see like strands of string going back in at least these different lifetimes. These, the past life files are going to open in your fields, and therefore we can clear them. And breathe into those lifetimes. There might be only one, there might be multiple ones. Just be present with it. 80% of what you process in this life comes from unresolved issues from past lives. Breathe into it through your mouth with the feeling of what's there. And now, microphones on, everybody. We're going to clear whatever's come up. Do it in bite-sized chunks. I'm using a past life deep, but I'm going to actually do a variation on this. Okay. You might have died in that life, but you might not have. Here we go. Repeat after me. Bite-sized chunks. Eyes closed. Higher self.
Higher self.
Please clear, heal, and integrate.
Please clear, heal, and integrate
all these files and memories.
All these files and memories
including all cellular memories,
including all cellular memories,
the DNA,
DNA,
and the subatomic levels.
subatomic level.
levels.
I'm now ready to heal
I am
I'm now ready to
heal
heal
all traumatic lifetimes
all traumatic lifetimes
that are blocking me
of blocking me,
from manifesting my gift of service
manifesting my gift of service,
and from opening fully
and from opening fully
to the flow of God's abundance
to the flow of God's abundance
that wants to come into my life
that wants to come into my life
at all levels and dimensions,
at all levels and dimensions,
all time frames,
all time frames,
realities,
realities,
and universes.
and universes.
Okay, so we've got to pause there and just let all that happen. There's a lot of stuff we asked for there. And we're commanding, you are a spark of the divine. You are ultimately God. You can command whatever you want. And if you believe that, the more you believe it, the stronger the effect will be. So you're not a little, small, limited human being. That's just an illusion. You're all vast, multidimensional masses pretending to be small, limited humans. Up till now. I command that any soul fragments
I command
any soul fragments
held with these memories
held
with these
These
memories
memories
are now returned to me,
are now
now
returned to
return to
me,
me,
fully whole and intact,
whole
fully
and
whole and
intact.
intact,
as appropriate.
as
as
appropriate.
appropriate.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
I welcome
welcome
these soul
these soul
fragments back.
So we pause there and let that happen. Okay. Because the sensitive parts of us can get shattered when we go through these strong experiences. So we need to bring them back to ourselves so we become whole again. I command that the whole holographic matrix
I command
that the whole holographic matrix
be repaired
be repaired
through all layers and levels,
through all
through all layers and levels,
then brought into full alignment,
and brought into full
alignment,
integration,
integration,
and balance,
and balance.
to allow for wholeness to emerge.
allow for
Allow the wholeness to
emerge.
emerge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brace the ship there. So you might feel a little disintegrated because past life stuff has a strong effect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to integrate you with what we call energetic nutrition. So you can open your eyes for this bit. So I reason I had your eyes closed so you didn't think about this too much. Okay. So in the Divine Healing Manual, we have 26 charts, which we work through over 4 days of when we train you in this sort of stuff. And one of these is called energetic nutrition. So nutrition is a physical nutrition. You have the physical form of it, but actually all nutrition is just a pure frequency. And your body wants a certain frequency here. And what we're doing is that we use the higher self to do what we call number mapping. It's going to tell us all these things here. I was going to mute you, but there. It basically tells us out of this manual what we're here to work with, because it knows exactly what's in this thing. Okay, so we have 4 types of nutrition we're going to work with. This is the Divine Healing 1 manual I'm showing you here. We work with amino acids, essential fatty acids, and there's a whole bunch of somewhat unpronounceable ones, because Mary and Roshan, who are part of the team, developed it. They were both kinesiologists, so there's lots of lists. They have unique frequencies that are going to help integrate what we've just been doing. Plus we have minerals and vitamins here, okay? And you don't have to understand what they do or even be able to pronounce them. It still works. Okay, 'cause it's all about intention, divine healing. So first of all, we have to pick a column A to D. That's easy to pick numbers. So we're going to pick a number 1 to 4. So I want you to close your eyes and then do exactly as I say. Okay. So pick a number 1 to 4, and whatever dropped in your head first is from your higher self. That's the correct number. Write that down. Higher self built you so it knows how to dismantle the ego. If you just let it, give it a chance to do it. Okay. So if you got 1, it means you're after an amino acid. If you got B, you're after an essential. 2, it's essential fatty acid. Got 3, it's a mineral. 4, it's a vitamin. For those of you who got a 1, close your eyes again. And we're going to pick a number 1 to 25. Okay, so number 1s, pick a number 1 to 25 and write that down. First number. Anything after that is just the ego messing with you. Twos, which is B, essential fatty acids. Pick a number 1 to 19. First number that comes in your head, write it down. That's the correct one. Threes, which is minerals. Pick a number 1 to 21. Write that down. Four, which is vitamins. You guys pick a number 1 to 26. Write that down. Okay. This is actually how we do divine healing. We just open to the high, we align to the higher self, and then we just allow it to dismantle our ego, one layer at a time. So amino acid people, number 1, just have a look on the screen here and see which one you picked. And write that down. Okay, they're all here. Number 2s or Bs, essential fatty acids. Look at which one you picked, or your higher self picked, and write that down. Okay. Number 3s, minerals. Look at which one you picked and write that down. Number 4s or D, vitamin, write down which one you had. What we're doing is that we are putting our intention, the higher self's intention, into what we call the divine healing stack. It's an energy container that remembers everything that you're focusing on, intending. You just look at it once and intend that's what you want to work on. It'll stay in there, okay, until we actually clear the issue, or in this case, infuse the nutrition. Okay. Now be aware of how you feel now. You might feel a little disintegrated because you did a couple of very powerful charts. I mean, the frequency program chart and the past life chart. Okay, and we're going to do this command code together here. We're going to infuse this. So everyone put your mics on now. We're going to do this command code. Okay. All right. In bite-sized chunks. So, higher self. Please encode this nutrient.
Please
Please encode
these nutrients
in the perfect balance.
In the perfect balance
Perfect balance.
That is required.
that is required.
And clear and align all pathways
And clear and align all pathways
for maximum assimilation,
For maximum assimilation, absorption,
and utilization.
and utilization.
Just close your eyes, and that's going to infuse down your central channel. It'll come down the central channel. It'll go down the pranic tube, and it'll propagate into your body. I got formic acid. I always get that. If you want to yawn, I really want to yawn after that one. It's okay. I feel quite tired after that. When you feel tired, it means a lot of life force that have been taken by the programs has been released. And a lot of fatigue from holding those programs is releasing as well. That's fine. It means it's worked. I really want to yawn now. More energy release. All right, so that's your taste of divine healing, guys. How was that? Anyone want to share how that was?
That was really great. I really felt the shifts. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's easy as that. It's actually quite straightforward. And,
it was fun too.
Yeah, it's quite straightforward. Anyone else want to share how that was? How they're feeling compared to how they were an hour and a half ago? Or an hour and 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, I can go, Nicolas. Yeah, very, very good, very powerful. But just like wiped out with it. Yeah, but feel energized.
Yeah, a lot of fatigue is released because those programs have been held on for a very long time. But what happens is you get an energy rise later as the fatigue comes out of the cells from holding. Life force that was holding it in starts to be made available to you again to get more energy.
I will say that I went, it was very much took me back to my childhood.
Yeah, that'll usually be the case. Most of it is in childhood.
Yeah, and other people's opinions where I've got to is under people's opinions of what they believed my future would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, so very powerful. Thank you.
None of which were true either, were they?
No.
No. Yeah. Anyone else want to share their experience with that?
Yeah, hi Nicolas, it's Michelle here.
Yeah.
I thank you very much. It was a lovely session. The fatigue, I feel fatigued nearly all the time anyway, so I just have to wait and see what happens later. When we were doing the sessions or meditations, I didn't recall any past lives or any of that kind of thing, but on each of the 3 occasions, I felt really cold shivers down my neck. I don't know if that has any significance, but I've since put a scarf on me and something around my feet.
It'll be the release of the cold is usually trauma, okay, stored in the body from whatever event.
Yeah.
We got cleared by you, whatever program's in the way. And the cold will be an energetic cold. It won't actually matter. Even if you've got in a hot bath, it'll still be cold.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nicolas.
Shock release, I'd say.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share how that was? William.
About that, along with Magella, I also had, I didn't remember anything, but I saw like the files, line up.
Yep.
The past. But when you said that they'll be revealed, does that mean like later on they might come up in sleep or something like that?
They might get revealed in the session in that moment. You may just see. Could be in the 1500s or Middle Ages, you were some Viking, or you're in China or wherever. Sometimes it becomes available to you if the higher self feels it's going to be useful to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I saw like the past files were kind of like yellow manila type folders.
Yeah.
And then I saw like blue files, which they went in the front, kind of like future files that were somehow being worked on too. I don't know what they were though.
Well, that's sort of plans for the future, probably.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, what
interesting.
are some options on what could happen next?
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? You guys on it who are not off screen, you can put it in the chat if you want. The invitation's there. Okay. All right. So any questions about the process? So that's a direct experience of triggering it. We're triggering a program, you bring consciousness to it, and you're asking the higher self, once you've got enough consciousness, to clear the program. And if you did this every day, you'd become enlightened, or pretty, well, I don't say enlightened, but you become very conscious. And your life will be quite different. My life's completely different, having done this for about 16 years. Even in the first year or two, things started to really change, because this thing just managed to just peel layers and layers of programming. Things I thought were stuck, it just kept digging them all out. And I thought I've got the right tool now. I used to work on myself every 2 or 3 times a week with this for years to get clear. Any other questions? All right. I will explain a little bit about the structure of how level 1 works. So if you're interested in learning it, the way we teach this is basically we do what we're doing now, but we do it for 4 days and on Zoom. And you go through a 4-day healing process. Plus you learn how to do it on other people in the process. But essentially in divine healing, we are transforming your DNA and you're empowering yourself, because when an issue comes up, you can change it. So that's very empowering. You don't let anyone else do it. You can do it yourself. So you're being empowered to take control of your life and to manifest that flow of abundance and your gift of service. So the 3 ladies, including Almira, who channeled us through, basically came up with all sorts of different charts. And these are the 26 charts that first came through. So we did main level interference first. So we have a clear connection to higher self. Then we did main level frequency programs. And we cleared just past lives, not the death bit. We did nutrition to integrate. We basically work our way through these charts. There's some really powerful ones here, like God consciousness. How you separate from God determines how you live your life. Hidden agendas, all the things that drive our behavior, which we have no idea what's behind it. Things which sabotage us. Traumas which block our flow. Okay. We work on clearing the subtle bodies. They carry a lot of programming. We work on the chakras, that carries lots of programming. We work out what state we're in emotionally. This key psychological complex is the most powerful chart in level 1. So it's natural to love ourselves, but it could be I don't love myself, for example. It could be a key psychological complex, just as an idea, which will have massive ramifications in your life. So basically all the hidden stuff in the ego, this stuff here digs it all out. And what happens is that we just follow the flow of spirit, just like we did now. And we work our way through all these charts over 4 days in the order that the group consciousness, what we call the synergistic entity, wants to work through. So everyone gets a massive healing. And what happens is for the reasonably simple charts, I just talk about it. I explain the theory, then I just do the chart on the whole class. You shift, you get that healing. For the more complex ones, which is quite a few of them, I demonstrate on some theory, I demonstrate on one person, then you go into Zoom breakout rooms and you practice on each other, giving and receiving. So you have the privacy of that room, and then you come back up, we talk about it, integrate that, and then we do another one. So basically we work our way through all these over 4 days. And Zoom's actually quite good for that, because normally we used to do it in a big room. Then everyone could hear everyone else talking, but here you get some peace and quiet. You can actually go deeper by having breakout rooms. And so each day we do about 4 1.5 hour sessions we have a couple of 20-minute breaks, plus we have a meal break. And we start in the UK at 12:30, go to 8:30. If you guys could go on mute, that'd be great. And so we time it like that. So in California, you start at 4:30 in the morning and go to 12:30. In Europe, like for you, Eleanor, you go from 1:30 to 9:30. So I had to find a balance between Eastern Europe and the West Coast of America. Eastern time at 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So we set up the times for the Western Hemisphere. So people are quite happy to do that. So people used to fly a lot to come to England for this. But because the work spread, we just went to Zoom because it was much simpler. So that's the structure of the course. And if you're interested in coming, I've got to find the dates. Where have I put the dates? Here they are. If you're drawn to come, I'm just going to make these windows a bit smaller. If you're drawn to come the next time you run it, we run it 3 times a year. My video's gone out of focus. I'm just going to switch it on and off again so I come back into focus. The next one's the 30th of September to the 3rd of October. These are the times I just mentioned. Okay. It runs sort of spring, summer, and autumn. If you want to find out more, just go to the divinehealingtraining.com. The full fee is £571, about $685 US. And you can secure your place with a deposit of $193 if you're interested in that. But if you're serious about really working on yourself, it's actually only equivalent to only about 5.5 hours of private sessions, which you can find out about here, Free Up Your Life at divinehealing.com. Because you can clear about 80% of your issues yourself, which is much more efficient, but it also means you can clear them when they come up, rather than waiting a couple of weeks or more to get a session with somebody. So basically you can, rather than sort of falling into a depression or a low place where the program runs, you can clear it and just get on with your day or your life. So it's going to make your life a lot easier. That's what I found with this thing. So it's there if you feel drawn to come, and you'll get to know everyone else in the class very well, and you'll be matched up with people. You get to pick your working partners. You just pick who feels right to you. What will happen is that they'll be the perfect person to work with for that issue. And so we just allow the magic of it to happen. And so you get to work with the exact person you need, and then you just move around. You work with everyone multiple times. So in the end, you know each other everyone knows each other very well. Great deep trust is built, deep connections, and people stay together as a community permanently, usually, because of the shifts that everyone makes as a group. And because we're in a group, it means that the power of the healing process is so much greater than just doing it by yourself or doing it with one other person. So if you had 10, 20 people together, the whole group synergy holds you in a place of safety, so you'll go a lot deeper than you would just by yourself. So Divine Healing is here to basically help you ascend in consciousness, open to that flow of abundance, and deliver your gift of service. It takes time. It does take time, no matter what anyone may say. There's no quick fix in life, but this is a very fast way of doing it. You have to do your work. You've got to actually be present with whatever the issues come up, clear them one layer at a time, and deal with it as it comes up. And then actually, you'll make real progress. Life will actually start to happen. But you got to persist. You got to stay with it. And then once you start to see the breakthroughs, you realize the grip that you used to have on you is starting to dissolve, and then you can accelerate and go even faster. So life will get better. Life wasn't meant to defeat us. It was only meant to challenge us, so we'll grow into who we need to be to deliver our gift. And then when you reach what I call the threshold of soul integration, where you've cleared enough of the ego onion so that its drag weight pulling you back is weaker than the power of the soul pushing you forward, that's when life gets really interesting. it's when magic stuff starts to happen. But you got to get sort of to escape velocity from the ego. That's the first thing. And then you realize, I can actually do this. My life is getting better. And so then things accelerate for the better. Okay. Any questions? That's what I'm trying to summarize quite a complex process. Hopefully I made that clear. Any comments or questions?
When is the next round after the one that you're running now? Or the next one that's coming up in October?
After that, it'll be in spring. I'll have a look on the calendar. Probably in February, I think. Just waiting for Google Calendar to load. It's taking its time. It's come up. Let's have a look. So then the spring one, Charlene, is where's it gone? Still loading.
That's okay.
Internet's pretty slow at the moment. Have I missed it? I might have gone too far. I know what it is. It's much earlier, in early February. I know why that happened. The spring one is the 11th and 12th of February. Split over 2 weekends, and the 18th and 19th of February. It's a 2-weekend one. I do that at the beginning of the year because California mum said, we don't get much holiday. My husband can look after the kids. Can you do it over 2 weekends? So we do that for them. So
I'm not Californian mom, but I'll take that. I got 4 kids.
yeah, well, it makes it a bit easier in terms of kids and childcare and work and stuff. But most of the time, it's the other courses are just 4 days in a row. Okay.
Fantastic. Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
It'll make it easier on you because you're getting up at a pretty uncivilized hour in Australia to actually attend. So it's
I
easy.
know.
Yeah. All right. People do it though because they really want the training.
Yep, 100%. I want it.
Any other comments or questions, guys, before we finish? Clear? Well, thank you for engaging. If there are no more, I hope you got something from that. And the video will probably go out next week. And if you want further healing, just the video will contain the transmission exactly as you had it now. It'll clear you deeply. But if you focus on a different issue will get cleared. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, thanks for all the comments as well, you guys. So in the chat. All right.
Great. Thanks, Nicolas.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, Nicolas.
Take care. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.